Ready to dive in? Today we're tackling British humor.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it can be interesting.
Yeah.
I think we've got Conrad Riker's book, British Humor, a comprehensive guide.
Comprehensive.
It is very comprehensive,
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
We'll be looking at the quirks, the psychology of it all,
Right.
and of course how it all fits into British culture.
Well, British humor is really intertwined with the history of British society.
It is.
It's not just jokes, it's understanding the social context,
Right.
the evolution of comedy over time,
Yeah.
and really just the psychology of what makes us laugh.
Yeah, and Riker really takes us back to the beginning.
Oh, does he?
He does. He goes all the way back to Roman Britain.
Wow.
Yeah, so they brought more than just roads and aqueducts.
That's true. They brought a lot to Britain.
They did. They introduced comedic theater, which really set the stage for future comedy.
Oh, interesting.
Like, think about British pantomime,
Right.
with those over-the-top characters, slapstick routines.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
You can see those Roman influences.
Yeah, yeah.
And then Riker takes us through the medieval period.
Okay.
Things get a little more, well,
More.
colorful. Yeah. He uses Chaucer's Canterbury Tales as a prime example.
Right, well, that's a classic.
It is. And what's so interesting is that fascination with the grotesque and absurd.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like finding humor in the darker sides of life.
Well, it was a tough time back then.
Yeah, so it was a way of coping.
Maybe.
And even challenging those societal norms.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I think that thread continues through British humor today.
I think so too.
That finding humor in the unexpected.
Absolutely.
Now, we can't talk about British humor without mentioning Shakespeare.
Oh, of course not. The bar.
A true master of wordplay, puns.
He was so clever.
He really had an undeniable impact on British humor.
He did.
He didn't just make people laugh. He used humor to hold up a mirror to society.
Right.
Poking fun at the powerful,
Right.
exposing those human follies.
Yeah, very insightful.
It's incredible how his work still resonates with audiences today.
It is. It really is.
It speaks to those timeless comedic themes.
Yeah, that's true.
So we've gone from Roman slapstick to Shakespearean wit.
A wide range.
Where do we go next?
Well, the 18th and 19th centuries saw the rise of dedicated comedy theaters.
Like
the Comedy Theatre in London.
Oh, wow.
And also music halls started to pop up.
Oh, so like variety shows.
Exactly. A mix of music, comedy, entertainment.
Right.
And it really allowed for new comedic talent to come out.
Yeah, to experiment.
Right.
Okay, so that sounds like a really exciting time for comedy.
It was.
But Riker then takes us into the psychology of laughter.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, he explores theories like the incongruity theory
Okay.
and the superiority theory.
Remind me what those are again.
So incongruity theory says we laugh when something unexpected happens,
Oh, okay.
like a sudden twist or a surprising punchline.
Okay, got it.
And the superiority theory suggests we laugh when we feel superior to others,
Ah, I see.
maybe because of their misfortune or mistakes.
Yeah.
So how do these theories connect to British humor?
Well, it's fascinating. Really,
Perfect.
British humor blends these theories so well. It
Yeah.
creates a really signature style.
What happened?
Think about irony.
Okay.
It plays on the incongruity between what's said and what's meant.
Right.
And it often makes the audience feel superior because they get the joke.
Right. They're in on it.
Exactly.
Like in Faulty Towers.
Perfect example.
Basil Fawlty's actions always contradict what he's saying.
Yeah.
And the audience sees that irony
Right.
that he's totally missing.
Exactly. And that's what makes it funny.
Yeah, that shared understanding.
Absolutely.
And then you have satire,
Yeah.
which critiques societal norms and institutions.
Exactly.
And it makes the audience feel like they're in on the joke too.
Right.
They see the hypocrisy or the absurdity.
Like-
shows like, yes, minister, the thick of it.
Yeah.
So sharp, witty.
They are.
They don't shy away from commentary.
Yeah, they're great examples.
British humor is so multi-layered.
It is.
It's not just about the laughs.
Right.
It engages with those deeper social and cultural critiques.
Even if we don't always realize it.
Yeah, we're being entertained and challenged.
And at the same time.
Exactly. So Riker also talks about those signature traits of British humor.
Right.
Understatement and euphemism.
Okay, those are good ones.
Can you unpack those for us?
Well, think of it as a form of comedic downplaying.
Okay.
Statement minimizes something's important.
Right.
And euphemisms use milder language for something maybe unpleasant or taboo.
Okay.
So the humor comes from that contrast between the situation and the language.
So it's like when someone says it's a bit breezy,
Right.
but there's a hurricane outside.
Exact. Or describing a disaster as a slight hiccup.
Yeah.
It highlights how absurd it is to downplay something so big.
Right.
And that's the humor.
It's like that episode of Faulty Towers.
Oh, yeah.
When the guest dies at the hotel.
And Basil keeps calling it a minor inconvenience.
Exact comedic goal.
It is classic British humor.
Finding humor in unexpected places.
For sure.
And then we have Timing, crucial in British humor.
Oh, it really is.
It's not just the words,
It's the pauses, the silences.
how jokes deliver.
The delivery is everything.
Think about Rowan Atkinson's Mr. Bean.
Oh, yeah.
So much of the humor is visual.
Right.
Lies on those pauses and expression.
And the dead parrot sketch from Monty Python.
Yeah.
The silence between Cleese's complaints just adds to it.
It does.
They're masters of timing.
They are.
Knowing when to speak, when to be silent.
It's a real skill.
It is. It takes years to hone.
Yeah, key part of what makes British humor so unique.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, wordplay.
Oh, yes. Classic British humor.
Puns, double entendres,
All the good stuff.
that clever use of language.
The Brits are known for it.
British humor embraces the playful side of language,
It does.
twisting it, turning it, finding humor in unexpected places.
Like Eddie Izzard.
Yeah, his wordplay is incredible.
So intricate.
Or all those British sitcoms that use puns and double meaning.
Oh, there are so many.
It's like that joke.
Which one?
Why don't scientists trust atoms?
I don't know why.
Because they make up everything.
Oh, I see. Clever.
Simple but clever.
Yeah, very good.
And accents and dialects.
Oh, yeah, that adds to it.
The way someone speaks can be funny,
It can.
especially those regional accents.
Right.
British comedy plays on these differences
Definitely.
to create characters and situations.
Like Little Britain.
Oh, yeah.
The accents and catchphrases become part of the humor,
You do.
highlighting stereotypes, poking fun at those quirks.
It makes British culture so diverse.
It does.
So we've covered a lot.
We have
Origin, psychology, key elements.
a lot of ground.
But it's more than just jokes.
Right. It's deeper than that.
It's a platform for social commentary.
Absolutely. British humor has a long history of addressing those issues.
Yeah, using laughter to talk about social and political issues.
It's a way to make us think about the world,
Yeah.
even while we're laughing.
Riker mentions that was the week. That satirical show from the 60s
Yeah.
really pushed boundaries.
It did. It wasn't afraid of controversy.
No.
It used humor to expose hypocrisy,
Yeah.
challenge the status quo.
And that continues today.
It does. With comedians like Ricky Gervais, John Oliver.
Yeah.
They make us laugh, but also think critically.
It's fascinating how humor can spark conversation,
It really is.
challenge perspectives,
Powerful tool.
more than just silly jokes.
Way more.
We've covered so much already.
It feels like we've just scratched the surface.
We have.
There's so much more to explore. In the next part, we'll look at specific examples of British comedy.
Globally.
Monty Python, Faulty Towers.
Okay.
To see how everything comes together
Okay.
to create that humor we know and love.
Yeah, so stay with us. We'll be right back.
More insights to come. Welcome back to our deep dive.
All right, we're ready to look at some iconic examples.
See how those theories and elements play out.
Yeah, should be fun.
Definitely some hilarious stuff.
Let's start with Monty Python.
Legendary.
Yeah, truly revolutionized British comedy.
They did.
Riker describes their humor as surreal, satirical,
And absurd.
very absurd,
Absolutely.
defying logic but making profound points.
Yeah, about society, culture, the human condition.
You're laughing 1 minute.
And then thinking, wow, that's a clever point.
Exactly, like the dead parrot sketch.
Oh, class.
John Cleese, the disgruntled customer,
The dead parrot.
and Michael Palin, the shop owner,
Insisting it's just rustic.
or pining for the fjord.
Right. Ridiculous. Police getting more and more
The
frustrated.
shop owner denying the obvious.
Comedic genius.
Wordplay, irony, absurdity,
Great.
creating unforgettable moments.
Do you really remember them?
And their influence is huge.
Oh, absolutely.
Pave the way for a new generation of comedians.
Who weren't afraid to experiment.
Push boundaries.
Be silly, challenge convention.
They broke the mold.
They
Did. Okay, let's talk about Faulty Towers.
Another classic.
John Cleese again.
Brilliant show.
A masterclass in cringe comedy.
It really is.
That chaotic hotel, Basil Faulty,
So inept, easily exasperated.
always struggling to keep things in order.
And those interactions with the staff and guests.
So funny.
Raker says Cleese got inspiration from working in hotels.
Really?
Yeah, adds a layer of authenticity.
That's interesting.
He amplified those real-life frustrations.
To create this masterpiece.
Exactly.
I love the physical comedy in Faulty Towers.
Oh, me too.
Basil's expression.
His movement.
That tendency to lash out physically.
Part of the brilliance.
Sometimes the funniest moments aren't verbal.
True. It's all visual.
And the supporting characters are brilliant.
Oh, yeah. They make the show.
Sybil, the sharp-tongued wife.
Manuel, the confused waiter.
Polly, the voice of reason.
Amidst the chaos.
They're hilarious and relatable.
You cringe, but also sympathize with them.
Only 12 episodes.
No, hard to believe.
Such a lasting impact.
It's amazing.
Character-driven comedy, Cleese's writing,
Finding humor in everyday chaos.
still resonates with audiences today.
It does.
Timeless theme.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, let's jump to the 2000s, The Office.
That felt revolutionary.
It did, a new kind of sitcom.
Ricky Gervais and Stephen Merchant.
Yeah.
That mockumentary approach.
To office life.
Riker says they embrace the cringe.
And they did.
Awkward, comfortable, relatable.
If you've ever worked in an office,
David Brent, the delusional boss.
trying so hard to be like.
Making a fool of himself.
The mockumentary style adds to the realism.
It does.
Makes it more cringeworthy. Like
What?
you're right there in the office,
Witnessing it all.
but it's also heartwarming at times,
Yeah, you root for the character.
even when they make terrible decisions.
That's what makes it
A
compelling.
global phenomenon.
It really was.
International adaptation.
Man.
Humor in ordinary settings.
People were ready for that.
Funny and thought-provoking.
Absolutely.
It pushed the boundaries of comedy.
It did.
We've covered a lot. Monty Python, Fawlty Towers, The Office.
3 iconic shows.
But British comedy is so vast.
There's so much more.
Classic sitcoms like Blackadder, Only Fools and Horses.
Stand-up comedians like Sarah Millican, James Acaster,
It's constantly evolving.
reflecting the changing times.
Diverse voices shaping the landscape.
Always something new to discover.
In the final part, we'll wrap things up.
Explore the enduring appeal of British humor.
Impact worldwide.
Stay tuned. More laughs and insights coming.
All right, welcome back.
Back for more.
We've been on quite a journey
We have.
through the history, the psychology, all those iconic examples.
Some laughs along the way.
So, the big question,
Yeah.
what makes British humor so universally loved?
That's a good question. It really does have this enduring appeal.
It does.
It crosses cultural boundaries.
It does.
I think a big part of it is that British sense of irony.
Yeah, that ability to find humor in the unexpected.
Right. To say one thing but mean another.
It's like a secret code.
You have to crack it to get the joke.
Exactly. It requires a certain wit.
Intelligence to appreciate those layers. And often it goes with that self-deprecation.
Ah, yes. The British are masters of laughing at themselves.
They are.
It's refreshing.
Especially these days.
Yeah, when everyone takes themselves so serious.
It's arming, endearing.
It is.
They poke fun at their own flaws.
Yeah.
Makes them relatable.
It does.
That love of the absurd,
They really embrace the nonsensical.
the illogical, the silly.
And Monty Python. Oh, the perfect example.
Their sketches just make no sense sometimes.
But that's what makes them so funny.
It is. It frees us from logic.
We can just enjoy the ride.
So liberating.
And then the language, the
Yeah.
mastery of language.
Agree, the English language is so rich.
British humor really uses it.
Puns, double entendres, clever wordplay.
All those regional dialects.
It's a feast for the ears.
It really is. They're always playing with language.
Finding new ways to make us laugh.
It's not just what you say, it's how you say it.
Exactly.
But there's something deeper too, I think,
I think so too.
beyond those technical elements.
It's about those shared human experiences.
The awkwardness of life,
The absurdity of it all.
the struggles we all face.
No matter where we're from,
It finds humor in those moments.
the little hiccups and mishaps
We can all relate to.
makes us feel less alone.
Yeah, laughter unites us.
It does.
British humor uses it to connect us.
On a deeper level.
It reminds us there's always something to laugh about.
Even in the darkest time.
That shared laugh.
It's special.
So after this deep dive,
Yeah.
what are some key takeaways from Riker's book?
Well, British humor is more than just joke.
It's a reflection of culture, history,
A way of
a
coping.
tool for commentary.
And a way to connect with others.
Absolutely.
And if you want to explore further,
Yeah.
Conrad Riker's British Humor.
A comprehensive guide.
Great book.
You can find it on Amazon Kindle and Google Play Books.
Lots of insights in there.
But as we wrap up, we'd love for you to think about your favorite examples of British humor.
What makes you laugh?
What tickles your funny bone?
Yeah. Think about the role humor plays in your life.
How it helps you navigate the ups and downs.
Yeah, good point.
Until next time, keep laughing, keep exploring.
And keep those comedic spirits high.